we have some young kids coming into the industry. So we have to make sure that we utilize both those talents and have the older gentlemen teach the younger guys. And there's people like me that's kind of between both of them where it's like, okay, I learned a lot from the older generation, which I like to spread down into the younger group that we have.
Welcome back to MTDCNC. Today, as you can see, we are standing in front of a couple of Mazak machines. What is the purpose of this conversation with my buddy Greg and NTL Industries? It's the fact that what happens when companies invest in machines that are meant to last for decades? Well, it's profitability, of course. It's investment in your future. And it's the ability to produce precise parts that your customers are going to love as well. Why do I bring that up? Greg, did we buy a couple of these machines from eBay, and is one of them about 2 decades old?
Yes, we did. We bought that one in 2019 off eBay. I drove to Chicago and checked it out, threw some indicators on it, checked the backlash, checked all the parameters to the best of my ability, threw it on a truck and put it over here and put it in my floor. Last year, we bought this one in Chicago and brought it back to Michigan. So two machines, 20-some years old, almost 20 years old, and still they hold 5/10 all day long. Probably tighter than that.
And that's the point I wanted to make for the audience. This one, I believe, is 2004. This one is 2006.
Yes.
Although new to you, you're talking about almost 2 decades still running the accuracy and precision as day one.
Correct.
And this is what happens, and this is why we talk so often about, for those of you out there signing the checks and looking at machines and looking at the futures of your company, pay attention to your price per part, or the price of what you're creating, not just the upfront cost. Now, you bought these 2 machines off eBay, probably a pretty good deal, got them from Chicago, running great. Yep. And I think I see a third beautiful machine, 2022, in the back there as well, don't I?
Yep, that's the one that's tucked back in the corner. That's our diamond in the rough. So that one, we upgraded that one a little bit. That one's got the Y-axis milling capability. These only have the X-axis or C-axis live spindle on it. So they all have live spindles on it. This one's outfitted with a 12-foot bar feeder, so we can take a 12-foot bar stock, load it in there, and pump out parts. The one back, the 2022, has a 4-foot bar feeder, and that one we can get running for like 4 hours unattended.
I want to talk about this because we have the opportunity to talk about it for the audience out there. Now, you have 2 different style bar feeds.
Correct.
You have one that takes only one, and you have to manually load it when it's done, but it's a much larger bar feed. And then you have another style, which is a smaller bar, but you can load multiple ones, which allow you longer runtime.
Correct.
Can you talk about the differences in your shop between the longer bars versus the shorter bars, and why I believe you're going to move into the shorter bar on this machine as well?
Yes. So the main factor that we're going to the 4-foot bar feeder, one is space. As you can see, I'm kind of running out of space here. So with the 4-foot bar feeder, that will give us it will give us time for spindle uptime. If you think about it, we can narrow it down to our inserts and everything lasting X amount of parts. Well, I can only get X amount of parts out of a 12-foot bar. So what better way to utilize spindle time is to have multiple bars sitting, waiting for it to run. If we have a remnants of 1.5 inches of bar stock, you're only losing 2 parts compared to running for 4 hours. If you get 2-hour runtime out of a 12-foot bar, but you get 6-hour runtime out of the other one,
Yeah.
but you're only losing 1 inch of stock, I'll take that 6-hour runtime. You have to do trial and error and figure out what's going to work best in your situation. In our situation, that 4-foot bar feeder is going to work great.
2 major components that stood out to me in what you just said to me, Greg, was one, again, and how often does it happen, floor space. Floor space is a big one, so why not go a little smaller if we can, and it's going to be more productive. And 2, if we're going to run 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours straight because we have that capability, is that also the length of time that our inserts last, or our cutting tools last, and do we have that capability based on that? And you figured out that math to say, yes, we can run this amount of time with this bar feed and be able to run perfect parts before we have to change out any cutters or have to stop at all.
Right. So just like anything, we're all humans and there's always variables that don't come into play. But the major thing that these two machines have, or actually three machines, is they have what's called is a spindle overload detection. So if it's cutting if it increases any type of, let's say an insert breaks down and the tip breaks, it will actually detect that before it actually wipe out a whole bunch of other tools and actually stop. So when I bought this, I didn't know it was on it. That was a good purchase because it's on it. So if the OD tool breaks down at all, it will actually stop and not run and make bad parts.
So this goes into the conversation that we always have about automation. Now, we're all trying to get into automation, and whether that's cobots, robots, bar feeds, pallet systems, any other combination, even the probing that we have these days, you can check the parts and put it right into a shipping box. It all goes into this conversation that Greg and I are having. He has figured out how to optimize his floor space, his machines, his ability with everything that's going on here, which I think is personally important because we can't throw people at machines anymore, can we? We have to be able to multitask and wear a lot of hats in order to get things done.
Correct. And you know, in today's day and age, and a lot of different people that are coming in and out of the field, we got a lot of people retiring. We have some young kids coming into the industry. So we have to make sure that we utilize both those talents and have the older gentlemen teach the younger guys. And there's people like me that's kind of between both of them where it's like, okay, I learned a lot from the older generation, which I like to spread down into the younger group that we have. So we have a very young, diverse group here. I think our average employee is like 32.
I don't hear that all the time. I don't think we in general hear that all the time. And I'm going to close out this conversation with a really, I think, to be fun analogy about what currently happening in manufacturing. Now, completely different segue from talking about the reliability of the Mazak and NTL Industries being your go-to source for a great supplier of making parts. But they described it to me the other day like this about our industry and the retirement that's happening and why we need more people in our industry of the younger generation. Have you ever played that game where you put in a coin or a token and it falls down and there's this little slide and it pushes another coin off?
Correct.
Well, there's a whole lot of people sitting on that edge of that coin, and there's a whole lot of tickets getting ready to come out of that machine.
Yep.
Of the average age of our industry, I believe is over 55 right now. The average age, if it's over 50 or over 55. So there's a whole lot of people getting ready to retire, and we do need to figure out ways to, because we're reshoring right now. We're bringing more work back to the USA.
Correct.
We have flags everywhere here of proud Michigan USA manufacturing, and this is the way to do it, and you, my friend, are doing an amazing job.
Thank you. We have a great team here, and you know, I like to spread my wealth on to everyone else. So, you know, without my team, without the people here that, you know, work day in and day out, it's a team effort, 100% every day. So without everyone here and the young group that we have and the older gentlemen that we have, you know, I'm very, very fortunate to be where we're at. So
I appreciate you.
Tony, I appreciate you.
Amazing conversation. This is NTL. As Greg would say, nothing to lose or
never too late.
Never too late. NTLindustries.com. Check them out. Thank you all for watching MTDCNC. We'll see you again soon.